Hi guys, and welcome back. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. The pond has settled in nicely. We're doing a seeded fish in cycle, and I'm going to tell you what that actually is. And we're going to see the fish and they're going to feed, and I'm really happy. All I need is a beer and I can sit down and watch them. You've joined me for all of it, so now join me for this last bit. Nearly the last bit, we've got some finishing touches to do. Stay tuned and let's get on with the video. So what even is a fish in cycle? Fish in cycle is simple. You put fish in when the water needs to build up the bacteria. Now, a lot of people do that and they do it incorrectly. We've got to remember, cycling isn't a seasoned pond. Cycling is just getting the beneficial bacteria going. Seasoning takes 6 months plus. That's when the beneficial bacteria are built up, but also there's a nice balance in the pond. Everything's, you do a little water change, but the pond is balanced. It doesn't affect it greatly, and the fish are healthy and happy, and it's a nice thriving ecosystem. Now, I believe this is the quickest way to do it. Now, I've cycled aquariums by adding ammonia, Dr. Tim's ammonia, which is really good. However, with a volume this much, it's a bit much to ask. We had to move the fish urgently, as we knew. We ended up losing 3 fish, which I'm absolutely gutted about. Most of them survived. A few had ulcers, which we've treated. We've treated the whole pond as well. So the way we've done it is we've got the fish in, but what we did is we feed them. We need to build up that ammonia, the waste. That's what creates the ammonia, and that's how the bacteria get started. So what we did is we put the fish in and we feed them just a little bit. Once a day we were feeding them, and we're testing every day for ammonia or nitrate. Now, I'm lucky here. My water in my home has very little nitrates in it at all. So that means it was easy to test. Now, the reason I'm testing for nitrate so early is normally what you'd see is ammonia going up, then you stop feeding. You wait for either that ammonia to turn into nitrite, but if the ammonia goes above 0.5 parts per million, you need to do a little water change. You don't want that to go above 0.5, in my opinion, with fish in. If you didn't have fish in there, you get it to go to about 2 parts per million, and then you add ammonia or waste to keep it at 2 parts per million until you see the nitrite come up and the ammonia go down. Then what you would see is nitrite would go up, and then you'd see nitrate come up and nitrite go down, and eventually you wouldn't have ammonia or nitrite. Now, the bonus I've got, and this is the best way and I recommend it to anyone, is doing a seeded fishing cycle. Now, the way you do this, you need a pond that you trust, or you could cycle your own media. I used a little bit of the media from the other pond, only about a litre or so of the K1 media, and I mixed it in with the media that was already in there. Now, the advantage of that is it already has beneficial bacteria. So there's already a small colony. So ideally, we shouldn't see any ammonia. We should just go straight to nitrate. I'll let you know whether that worked or not. Now, it's important, if you're doing this, make sure you get the media from a source you trust. You do not want to get it from somebody's pond and put it in your pond, and it creates all sorts of problems for your fish. Also, some shops will let you have it. Again, if you trust the shop, go for it. If not, it can be more problems it's worth, and it's not worth the hassle. I wouldn't have done this way if I had the choice. I would have probably had 3 or 4 fish in there to start with and still done a fish in one, but let it go for 4 to 6 weeks and do it that way. But as we know, I needed to rush, and the weather has turned extremely warm, so I'm glad we did do it in time. So that being said, let's have a look at the pond. So as we know, we added some of the pond gel to the pond. Now, there's no point putting that in your pond unless the bacteria that are allegedly in those bottles are being fed an ammonia source. So you've either got to put fish food in the pond and let it rot to create ammonia, or do a fishing cycle. Now, actually, when we added that pond gel, about 4 hours later, I added 4 fish. Then I think the following weekend from the last video, we went and got all the rest of the fish, and then we've been monitoring daily, checking on it. There's a nice bit of algae growing. The UV filter was off for a while. We went through the bacteria bloom where it goes all milky and creamy. That's disappeared. The water's cleared up lovely. There's algae growing, and I'm happy to say we didn't even see an ammonia spike. We've gone straight from fishing, only feeding once a day, keeping an eye on it. UV filter's on now, so the water's cleared up. And then we waited and we waited and we've actually got nitrates in our water. So we didn't see ammonia or nitrites, and that's purely because we seeded the filter already. We basically brought over a small amount of seeded filter, put it in there, and that's helped us skip the process. Now, I think that's pretty beneficial. The negatives are you don't know if you can introduce something bad to your pond. It also, you have to limit how much you're feeding. You don't want excessive waste if you bombard it. You got to remember, just because there's fish in there doesn't mean it's creating waste. If the fish aren't getting fed, they're not producing waste. So the more you feed them, the more waste you're going to get. So once a day they've been fed, but we're going to start upping that to 2 times a day, especially with the hot weather. We're also using Medicoi prebiotic feed, which is what we were using previously, and I quite like it. Now, 2 of them have had ulcers. We've treated that. We've used an ulcer swab by NT Labs. We used propolis on top of it, and then we treated the whole pond with actiflavin as well, and they seem to be healing. Luckily the water quality is pristine here, but we have done a few 10% water changes just naturally. I like to do that at the beginning and then narrow it down. We have been cleaning the filter every 3 days. In the hot weather I need to do it every 3 days. It's only a small filter. In the colder weather, once a week, if that. You can tell by how much debris is in the filter. So we got away with the filter cycling just about. Like I say, it's not seasoned yet. We need all the equilibrium to come into balance. That's the algae growing and stop growing. We will get hair algae at some point. We'll just take it off the side. It's a process. It takes 4, 5, 6 months, and that's completely fine. The main thing is the fish are in. You can see we need some finishing touches around the edge. The bricks are holding the net in. We've got to do that. We've got to build a filter house. There's plenty more videos to come on this pond. Although saying that, the next video probably won't be about this pond. But we've got other projects. We're going to build an indoor pond. We're going to house some pretty special fish in there. We're going to convert the garage into a fish room. We've got to drain the abandoned pond. We're going to build another wildlife pond. So much going on. Now, all those videos, the previous 7, were actually filmed within a week. It just takes me ages to edit. That being said, your response has been amazing, and I appreciate every single one of you. This one is actually 6, 7, let me think, 8 days, I believe, after the last one. So the fish have actually been in for a little while, and I've been enjoying them again. So let's have a look at what the fish look like. So that's what the pond is looking like right now. All the fish are hiding because I've scared them. I'll go and get some food so we can feed them. The water is pretty clear actually. You can see all the way to the bottom there. See some of the fish. Aerated bottom drain is working perfectly, and there actually hasn't been any leaks. So let's go and get some food, and we'll see all the fish in their glory. Let's see if we can tempt them with a few pellets at the top, get them to come up to the window, and then we'll have a look from the top side. This is the food we've been using, just if you're interested. Let's see, are they going to come? There they are, they're coming. There we go. So the big gold one was one of the ones with the ulcer. There's a mirror carp. As you can see, quite a few of them have turned completely white, which is annoying. A few have put up on some absolute size. There's the orange and white one. The mirror carp had a few marks on them, healed up lovely. And there's one, looks like a bit of a goshiki, and he's the one with an ulcer on his tail. But we have started to heal that, and it's doing all right, to be fair. So we've had a look through the window. Let's see if we can get some decent footage from the top. So that's the view through the window. Like I say, pretty clear considering that goes all the way to the other end of the pond. You can pretty much see the whole bottom bit of glare on there. You can see the carp at the back and the front. I think pretty impressive, to be fair. And like I say, there's a few ulcers, there's a few fish that have seen better days, but ultimately I'm pretty impressed with how it's turned out. That's another one with the ulcer underneath, as you can see, one of our bigger ones. And the plan is to get a couple more bigger ones, and then when we build the wildlife pond, to hopefully move some of the smaller ones into that pond so we can get a nice balance of fish and sizes. But we don't know when that will be. That's one of the ones that has turned majorly white, but the black has started coming back. Now, obviously that's to do with water clarity, hardness of water, pH of water, and all of the above. I'm not an expert, I don't know what affects it most, but I do enjoy seeing the colours, and that's why we don't spend thousands on our koi, but we do love them still. So there we go, guys, we are done. We've got fish in. Amazing, that was our goal achieved, and we saved most of them. I'm really sad we lost 3. However, we've learnt a lot. I'm going to do a video on how much it all cost, and then we're going to do a video when we do the finishing touches around the edge. There's lots more videos to come, and thank you all so much for joining me on this journey. Also, guys, we hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Really happy. That was one of the goals we wanted to achieve. So that being said, I'm going to have a beer in a bit and watch my fish, as you all recommended. Let me know what you all thought. Be kind. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and join me for the next one. And I'll leave you with a little bit more footage of the fish. Take care.